Hariom, let's continue to look at the principles of Nadi channels, our energy channels, according to the Prana pranayama book, the Bihar school. So link with Koshas, the next point. The Ida force is a subtle energy that controls the manomaya and Annamaya Koshas, whereas Pingala controls the Annamaya and Anandamaya Koshas. So the Ida Pingala have a little bit different effect on different Koshas, the bodies, the energy bodies, or physical body, whatever bodies we have. In pranamaya kosha, the Ida and Pingala forces reach out in both directions. The thoughts, the mental experience that remain confined to manomaya kosha or the mental dimensions are known as Ida activity until they become physical. Desires, thoughts, emotions, and feelings are given from and direction by the force of Ida. So you can see how directly it's affected your actually mental ability. So that's why when we practice, for example, Nadi Shodhana or any other pranayama, balancing it out, how you feel straight away effect on your brain activity. And it sounds like a magic or mystic, but it's actually just like a trigger. Vijnanamaya kosha, the body of psychic intuitive knowledge that one gains through sadhana, is also an aspect of Ida, the mental force. Extrasensory powers such as clairaudience or telepathy are developed within the range of Ida. So we talked about Ida, that it's more kind of cooler moon type of energies. And we, in yoga, usually before meditation, we do trying to work on activation Ida. Because usually in everyday's life, we activate Pingala itself by itself. And when you go to social, social world, I don't know, supermarket or whatever, you do outward, you kind of force, even though be outward. But too many sensors and stuff. So in meditation, before meditation, we prepare for it. So we balance both them out. And then we kind of switching more for Ida for these particular purposes. Telepathy, Vijnanamaya kosha, psychic intuitive knowledge. And it might sound very like a voodoo, new age, new era conversation talks for you. What is this psychic intuition? And there is something that we all experience, but we're not aware that what is it. For example, the dreams, which like premonition, they give you what will something happen. And I'm not talking about those dreams where something happened and you have a night dream, or you're afraid of something and you have the dream about some event. This is not one premonition. Intuition dreams or foreseeing dreams, they're very clear, they're very specific, and you have exact feeling that they are premonition or intuition dreams. If you didn't have this feeling, they're not. If you question yourself, they're not. So you will do know. And the same in any yoga practice. When we're in meditation, do you think, did I had a kundalini rise, or I went to Samadhi or not? Maybe it's just a play of my mind. If you have a question, concern, that is it? It's probably not. So when you have this type of experience, they're as clear as me right now sitting here and feeling my leg or the floor. They're absolutely even more real than even existence here right now. So you will do feel it throughout all the energies, all the bodies. You don't even need to find guru to ask, question, is it? But sometimes we do need somebody to talk to about these things. And sometimes all this experience, there will come to you if you find somebody who already had them, a particular guru teacher, who had a direct initiation to all these practices. And only if you learn from them, you will more probably have it. Otherwise, you might be doing something and you think it is, but it's not. The range of Pingala, the vital force, experienced this physical vitality in Annamaya kosha. In Anandamaya kosha, it's like one of the highest, the top, the awareness which remains even in the deepest state of meditation after dissolution of all the samskaras and karmas is a result of awakening Pingala. The awareness in Samadhi is Pingala energy. This is the subtlest aspect of Prana. So you see, we still have Pingala, which either gonna help us to get into those states, and Pingala, that's how you are aware of those states. And often, we do not confuse when we're kind of drifting into this half sleep state. Often it's a good way it's like a gateway to some kind of deeper practices. For example, practice conscious dreaming, or you can do some practices while you're dreaming, this kind of stuff. So we use these states in between. But when we in a yoga actual practice, so sitting upright, doing a meditation or pranayama, Pingala should be nicely activated. That's why we balance both. so you do not drift away into the sleep or this kind of called whatever Lalala land, when you're not sure you're still asleep, you still hear stuff, but you kind of like feel like you're in a dream. So in the meditation of Samadhi, it won't appear like that. Sometimes people have these ones, and there's a lot of imagery coming through the mind, a lot of visualizations or feelings, sensations in this state, Lalala land. It won't be the Samadhi one. It'll be one of the stages before. Sushumna, the neutral channel. Let's look at the next point, Sushumna. So Sushumna, this is this middle point, and actually on the book they have a picture when you have a Sushumna and Chakras in Ida Pingala represented on the book. When the two forces of Ida and Pingala are balanced, the third channel of Sushumna becomes active. It is a fact that when two opposite forces are equal and balanced, a third force arises. And you can think about like a vector geometry, so if you have an axis x and y, and you have two vectors, and the one in the middle will be always kind of perpendicular to these two. And when you activate those two, the sum of it will be projected vector, which have double force, threefold force. So I kind of like, if I want to scientifically think about these things, that's how I think about it, like that. And we see it in geomagnetic science or science about magnetism. We do see that too, but it's not just about magnetic properties, yeah? There's much more to it. By striking a match against the corrosive surface, fire is created. By bringing positive and negative currents together, machinery can be operated. Similarly, when the body and mind are united, a third force arises. This force is called Sushumna, the spiritual energy. The working of these three forces can also be understood through the analogy of electromagnetic circuit, with the North Pole being Ajna and the South Pole Muladhara. I can swear to you, I didn't read this, so that's what it's saying. It is a negative charge, Pingala, the positive charge, and Sushumna, the neutral. At each node of Ida in Pingala, there is its concentration of energy, which forms pulsating patterns in the horizontal plane. These nodes are the chakras, forces fields that expand and contract depending on physical and mental activities. When there is intensity of energy between Ida and Pingala, the chakras manifest in the form of light and sound. This manifestation occurs to a minor extent in normal breathing, but much more during pranayama practices such as Nadi Shodhana and meditation. When Ida and Pingala conduct mental and physical energy, Sushumna conducts a higher form of cosmic energy. The pranic and mental energies are finite, whereas the energy of Sushumna is infinite. And let's come to the point we talked on the previous lectures about mystic properties of the Sushumna, why it is like that. When you think about the energy people have, so we have this, remember in the very beginning I was talking about this depletion of prana, of energy, and I'm going to create prana. So I wasn't, when I was saying this, I think maybe I wasn't like very clear. So I was saying that we cannot create more prana, and we cannot lose it. So it's always there, we just have access to it or not. So this something like I'm trying to tell you. And this is what it's actually explained, how it actually works. So we do have this negative positive charge. We can be stagnant, so there's no this gradient and nothing flows anywhere, so it doesn't create any turbulence, disturbance. So the chakras are dormant or kind of blocked or asleep. So that's why people say when, you have a closed chakra, open your chakras or activate your chakras. People say different words, and as I said in the previous lecture, they doesn't mean what these people say. So we say one word, but open chakra, but it doesn't mean directly open it like a door. There's a all different reinterpretation to this. So you have to be very clear when you use these type of terms. Our language, for example, English language, will be totally different from, Hindu language or Russian language. We have different idioms and words can be described much better or worse, the same process. So be aware of that, and remember that those who speak, they always put it through the prism of the understanding. So this person who wrote this book, they put it in English. Maybe it's not even native English for this person, and they're trying to represent it like that. But I found these ones are very good books. That's so they kind of more clearly, like simpler at explaining complicated things. And with the mystic Sushumna, come back to that. So that's the one of these things which we have this prana energy and people feel very depleted sometime in their life, and they start doing pranayama and they have this enormous push of the energy that's coming from, seems like from nowhere. And I say you do not, like, everything in the universe already been created. So we don't like created something new or deleted something. So we're just transforming, transcending energy. If you think about energy, prana as an energy. So when we doing this with, for example, pranayama, we first of all, we kind of blocking out, cleaning these channels, reactivating them, and energy start flowing through them, created more gradient with the body, if you think about it like as a physicist, and it created more turbulences and activation of chakras, Sushumna, and you feel like you have more energy and livelihood. Yeah, because you know that if you don't have air circulation, water circulation in the pond, it will all become stagnated, overgrown, weeds will take over, and it's probably just become marsh and then die out. So we always need to fresh flow of air and water, for example, in the environment, in the earth, and the same in the body. So we need to move our body, strengthen the blood vessels through exercising. So our blood vessels have strong flow of blood, muscles working nicely, pumping from one point to the other, and then we feel healthy, we lose weight, we live longer, no disease. Same with the energetic body. So we have to pump out and work our energy, prana channels, cleans, work our energy, expand and contract, so the energy starts flowing. And then we get this activation of Sushumna. It might be partial activation. But then why do this? We have this connection to universal energy. And many people kind of lock themselves down, even physically. For example, low ceilings in the houses, block houses, electric currents, metal constructions, wireless, electric cables in the big apartments, houses. You have a lot of electromagnetic currents now, also Wi-Fi. It's all cutting down our energetic pulses, depleted our aura, and disconnect us with universal. So that's why when we go to the forest or the bush, we bare feet, even though go to the ocean and swim, we're reconnected to that. We feel so great. We have this burst of energy for the next couple of months before we go back to cities, and cities again put us into this depletion. So that's what it's talking about. So and to the point that we do not kind of create the energy, we kind of just reconnect it. We first of all cleans our pipes so it flows better, and secondly we create this gradient so the energy start become active, not stagnant. And third, we reconnect to this unlimited source of this universal energy, which is everywhere and everything. In the wall, in the floor, in the ground, in the tree, in the air. So that's about these points, and we'll talk about next points next time.